And welcome into Lions Live, starting up game two of the doubleheader against Bruton Parker. Lineup is pretty similar to last game. Got a position change for Jaron Morris. He's at first base now. And Evan Robinson is in the catch, also known as Big Kitty.
Pitching for the Lions in game two is Ty Johnson. And we are off and running. First pitch is a little off for a ball. Here's the 1-0. And swing and hit back on the hill. Good job right there from Ty Johnson. Leaps up and makes the grab. Flips it to Jaron Morris at first for out number one.
And Ty Johnson made quick work of out number one. Batter number two squared to bunt, fouled it back. Counts now 0-1. That pitch is in there for strike two.
Count is now 0-2. Here's the pitch. And he check swung. And they're not going to check it, so the count will move to 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Swing hit to second baseman Denage, and he will throw it on to first to get the second out of the inning. Good running throw right there from Williams.
Ty Johnson just a few pitches in. He's already got two quick outs.
And that pitch is called strike. Count now 0-1. Here's the pitch. And that pitch is low and away for ball one. Count now moves to 1-1. The 1-1 is hit on the ground to the third baseman Curcio, who gloves it, throws it across the diamond to Jaron Morris. Makes an easy play, and that's 3 up, 3 down for Ty Johnson. Good way to start this game. We'll be back after this break. All right, here we are in the bottom of the first. Lions made quick work in the first, in the top of the first. Cyrus Campos at the plate. Hit a big home run last game that contributed to the win. And he'll swing at the first pitch. Strike one. So now the count is 0-1. And Campos takes that one for strike two. Count now 0-2. Here's the pitch. And that ball is outside. Here's the 1-2. And he swings and hits a small chopper, and that ball's going to go foul just a little up the first baseline. If that ball stayed fair, he probably would have beat that out to first. The top part of this lineup definitely is not slow. So count remains 1-2. And that pitch is taken inside corner for strike three. So Campos down on strikes, and that'll bring up Cade Cook. Cook also had a home run last game. Looking to do the same thing right here. And he definitely did on that swing. Swung out of his shoes for strike one.
Cook is the guy who got the home run party started for the Lions. Lions hit a total of 6. His was the first.
And that pitch is called strike two on the outer half. So now the count is 0-2. Here's the 0-2. And that pitch is outside, so counts now 1-2. Here's the 1-2 offer. And Cook half swings, fouls it off, stays alive. One out here in the bottom of the first. Count is 1-2. Here's the pitch. And he swings and misses for strike three. Now 2 down in the inning, and that'll bring up the dangerous Caleb Ramsey, who also had a home run last game. Ramsey, very impressive last game. Started his game off with a double, then a single, had a fly out, a home run, and then another fly out. And he swings and hits that one really far to right field. And he does it again for the second time today. See ya. And the Lions are up 1-0 early here in the bottom of the first.
That was a quick turnaround from the first two batters. The pitcher picked up 2 strikeouts, and that ball is launched.
So now the batter will be Jaron Morris.
Correction, that's Will Curcio.
Oh, that's Will Curcio? Curcio had a big home run last game. And he might have another one. Deep left field. See ya! Will Curcio, his second of the day. That ball is in the pond. Lions jump ahead 2-0 early here in the bottom of the first off of back-to-back home runs by Caleb Ramsey and Will Curcio. And after that, they have another guy coming up who hit a huge bomb last game in Denaj Williams. That ball was, I mean, that's probably the furthest ball I've ever seen hit here. And Williams takes the first pitch high for ball one. Here's the 1-0. And that ball is low and inside. Now the count is 2-0 here, still 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that ball is low. Count now moving to 3-0. No runners on base. 2 outs. The pitch to Williams is called for a strike, so now the count moves to the hitter's count of 3-1. Here's a 3-1, and he swings and hits a ground ball, and it gets past the first baseman. So Williams reaches with a single, and the Bryan hit parade just keeps on coming. So now here comes Jaron Morris up at the plate. He had a big double in the last game that helped massively contribute to the win. Here's the pitch. And a half-hearted swing right there by Morris. Count now 0-1. 2 outs, runner at first. Denaj Williams does have a little bit of speed, so will we see him try to steal a bag here? And Jaron hits a ground ball to the second baseman, who kind of pump fakes the first baseman, but does get the ball over to first for the third out. But not before the Lions strike first with 2 back-to-back solo shots from Caleb Ramsey and Will Curcio. We'll be right back after this break. All right, here we are in the top of the second. Lions already struck early in the bottom of the first with 2 solo shots. Ty Johnson back on the mound for another inning of work, and he will throw the first pitch just a little bit out of the zone low for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. And that pitch looked good from up here, but the umpire is going to disagree with me, so now the count moves to 2-0. Here's the 2-0. And that one's in there for a strike. Count moves to 2-1. Here's the pitch. And that one got away from him real bad. Count now moves to 3-1. Here's a 3-1 offer. And it's called a ball. I'm not sure exactly where it missed, but now there will be a runner at first. And that runner at first actually is Denaj Williams' cousin. Or sorry, no, it's not. No, it's not. They might have switched uniforms before the game. So now runner at first, nobody out, and here's the pitch. And that's in there for a strike. So now the count is 0-1. Here's the pitch from Ty Johnson, and it's grounded foul to the third base side.
This at bat's looking a lot more characteristic of Ty Johnson, quickly getting ahead. First batter might have just need to get those couple pitches out of the way.
Ty Johnson in a very good place right here to get this strikeout. Here's the 0-2. And that ball is outside. Count moves to 1-2. Here's the 1-2. And that pitch is low. Count will move to an even 2-2 now with a runner at first. Lions ahead by 2. Here's the pitch. And swing and a foul ball. Count remains.
That's a great pitch right there by Ty Johnson, just coming straight at the guy. Needs to stay even here. Doesn't want to run the risk of walking him.
Next pitch is a check swing foul ball. So the count will still remain 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a pop up into the infield, very high up over the lights. Denaj calls everybody off, and he'll make the catch. Good job right there by Denaj Williams. This sky is not getting him any help as we're entering the part of the day where, I mean, it's just about too dark to see over the lights. It's now 1 out with a runner at first. Ty Johnson probably hoping for a 2-ball right here to get him out. Good pitch to start him off right there. Strike 1. Here's the 0-1. And a good job right there by Big Kitty, Evan Robinson, to keep that ball from going to the backstop. Count now moves to 1-1. Here's the pitch. And he swings and hits up the middle past the diving Campos. And that'll leak into center field for a base hit. Still one out here, but now runners at first and second. That was the first hit of the game for the opposing team. And that pitch catches the outside corner for strike one. Here's the 0-1. And he swings and hits a chopper foul down the third base side. Count now will move to 0-2. Good opportunity right here to maybe get a strikeout or even a 2-ball.
Either would be big for the Lions.
And he's going to poke it through the one hole they had between first and second. And now the bases are going to be loaded with one out.
Denaj almost made the play there. Had to ranch super deep into that gap, in that 3-4 gap, but he was shaded towards the second base bag, holding a runner on and in double play depth. So
that's the second time today this has happened to the Lions. A little weak ground ball finding a hole and becoming a base hit. There's strike one.
and now Ty Johnson definitely needs some weak contact or a strikeout.
And he'll move the count to 0-2 with a foul ball.
I mean, it feels like he's had every batter 0-2. Just can't seem to finish them. Something small happens and just they end up on base.
Next pitch is swung on and missed. Strike three. Huge strikeout for Ty Johnson. First pitch from Ty Johnson is a strike. One thing we can say about the Lions pitchers today is they have not been afraid to attack the zone early. And there's another one. Count moves to 0-2 on a really good breaking ball. And that pitch is hit down the first baseline, but foul. So count will remain 0-2 here with 2 outs. Bases loaded. Lions currently lead 2-0 off of 2 solo shots.
And Ty Johnson, he's in a prime opportunity here to get out of this jam.
Here's the pitch. And a really good job right there by Evan Robinson to keep that ball from getting to the backstop and possibly scoring a run. Count will move to 1-2 now.
This is Evan Robinson's first start at catcher this year, but he's looking like a seasoned vet.
And that pitch is in there for strike three. Great pitching right there from Ty Johnson to get out of the bases loaded jam. We'll be right back after this break. Here we are now in the bottom of the second, and the first batter for the Lions will be Big Zach Terry, and he
DH
swings
first
at the first pitch, 0-1. Unlike the first game the Bryan Lions played today, there's no wind, so there's not going to be any help on home runs as Terry takes that for strike two, count now 0-2. Here's the 0-2. And that's called on the outside corner, so Terry down on 3 pitches. And that'll bring up Logan Stradley.
Stradley, slow start to the year, homer last game, though.
And the first pitch to him is inside. Count is now 1-0. The next pitch is popped up. Right fielder calls everybody off, and he can't grab it. Stradley's on his way to second, and he's there safely. It was a shallow pop-up, basically in no man's land behind second base. Right fielder called everybody off, tried to basket catch it, couldn't get it done, and that's going to be an error.
That was some impressive hustle by Logan Stradley there. I mean, he knew he didn't hit that ball well, and he still hustled out of the box and was able to stretch that into 2 bases.
So now the Lions have a runner at second with 1 out, and that'll bring up Evan Robinson for his first AB of the year. Here's the pitch. And a big swing and a miss. I don't think there was a question what he was trying to do with that pitch. Here's the 0-1. And that pitch just a little bit off. Count now even at ones. One out here, runner at second. A speedy runner at that. A single could score. And he'll poke one through. Will he get there? He will safely. And the ball gets away. Stradley coming home and scoring. Evan Robinson hit that ball dead off the hands. Throw got away from the first baseman. Stradley was able to score, so a big break from the lines as now that is 3 errors. I think they counted that as an error.
I believe it was counted as a hit other than an error on the throw that allowed Stradley to score.
And that'll bring us back to the top with Cyrus Campos as he takes ball 1 upstairs.
Campos struck out in his first at bat this game, homer and a single last game.
A pickoff attempt right there as we have a pinch runner. Next pitch to Campos, swung on and missed. Count evens at 1-1. Pinch runner for the Lions is going to be Chris Hall. And another pickoff attempt. No avail. Count still remains 1-1. Here's the pitch. And that ball is upstairs to Campos. So count moves to 2-1. Runner at first, 1 out. Here's the pitch. And he fouls one straight back. Count moves to the even 2-2. Campos looking to do damage here and maybe extend the lead for the Lions. And pitcher steps off. Scoring currently looks like the Lions leading 3-0. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. The throw down, and he is safe. So it'll be a stolen base for Chris Hall. Campos did strike out, though, so now there are 2 outs. And that'll bring up the dangerous Cade Cook.
The last game we saw a lot of 2-out magic from the Lions. Definitely be nice to see it continue here.
Here's the pitch. And it's taken outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. And that pitch is high and inside for ball 2. 2 outs here, runner at second. Lions currently lead 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. Pitch. And a big swing and a miss right there. Count moves to 2-1.
Cook is definitely looking to do damage here with 2 outs and a runner on second. Evident from that swing.
And that pitch almost runs in and gets him. The count will move to 3-1. A good hitter's count right here for Cook to capitalize. The 3-1 is cut on a miss. Count will move to a full 3-2. count full, 2 outs, runner at second. The payoff is high and gets to the backstop. So Chris Hall will move to third on the pass ball, and then Cade Cook will take a walk. Runners at first and third with 2 outs. And that brings up the dangerous Caleb Ramsey, who homered his last AB. Lions have a good opportunity to extend the lead right here. Runner takes off. The throw down is high and cut off. So it'll be a stolen base for Cade Cook, his second of the day. Runners at second and third with 2 outs.
Definitely a big opportunity with 2 outs here.
Here's the 1-0. And he swings and hits a chopper to first that almost hits the first baseman up. And interesting sliding tag at first to get the third out. Lions push another run across the board. We'll be back after this break. All right, here we are, top three. Lions currently lead 3-0. Ty Johnson back on the mound as that pitch misses a little inside for ball one. Here's the 1-0. And that pitch looked to be maybe just a little bit out. Borderline call. Count moves to 2-0. Here's the 2-0. And there is strike one. Count moves to 2-1 now. Next pitch is taken at about the same spot for strike two. Count moves to an even 2-2.
Ty Johnson looks like he's in a groove now.
The 2-2 offer is chopped back to the mound. Easy catch and a flip over to first from the pitcher, Ty Johnson. And there's out number one. It's now 1 out. Here's the pitch. And once again, just low and inside. Count is now 1-0. The pitch is hit right back up the middle. And once again, the pitcher, Ty Johnson, just doing it himself. A comebacker glove flip to first, and there is out number 2.
It's the third one of the day for Ty Johnson.
Flashing the leather a little bit. So now 2 outs here. Bryan currently leading 3-0. Here's the pitch. And it's hit decently, but also very well foul. Count now 0-1. The pitch is fouled off. Count moves to 0-2. Ty Johnson's definitely found his groove. He's gotten ahead of the past 5 batters. The 0-2 delivery is called strike 3 on the outside corner. Ty Johnson strikes him out. This entire inning was all him. 2 comebackers and a strikeout. We'll be right back after this break. All right, here we go for the bottom of the third. And the first batter will be Will Curcio, who had a homer his last AB and a huge homer in the last game that helped contribute to the win.
This guy's on an absolute tear. The last 3 games, he's got 4 home runs.
Here's the pitch. Big swing right there. Oh, my. Count is 0-1 now. Lions currently leading 3-0, hoping to extend that lead this inning as Curcio fouls it off. Count now moves to 0-2. The pitch is fouled off again. Good job staying alive. So we'll do it again, 0-2. Count is 0-2. Long time to get the sign from the catcher. I'm not sure if maybe there was some miscommunication or he just couldn't see the signs maybe, but
When it gets dark out here, these lights, they make a lot of shadows, so it can understandably be kind of tough to
And that pitch is outside. Count moves to 1-2 for Will Curcio. Curcio is a very dangerous hitter. Anything in the zone, he can very much send over the wall. That pitch was not one of those pitches. That was well out and low. Count moves to 2-2. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the third. The pitch is low. Count will move to full. Good AB right here from Will Curcio. Here it is.
Payoff pitch.
And that pitch is inside and high, ball 4. What an AB from Will Curcio, going from 0-2 to 3-2 to a walk. And now the Lions have a runner at first with nobody out for Denaj Williams. Denaj, another dangerous hitter in the top of this Bryan lineup.
Singled in his first at bat.
Here's the pitch. And he swings and hits a rocket deep to right. Goodbye. Pucker up and kiss it. See ya. An absolute moonshot. Went over the scoreboard for Denaj Williams. Second bomb of the day, and boy, was it a bomb to put the Lions ahead. 2 more runs.
This guy started off today slow, but oh my gosh, has he turned it around.
Have a day, kid. Have a day. Lions now lead 5-0. And now steps in another dangerous hitter in Jaron Morris. And he's about due for one of those home runs.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch. And that one's low and inside for a ball. That home run might have rattled the pitcher just a little bit.
It's hard to believe there's still no outs in this inning.
Having a meeting at the mound. Probably try to calm the pitcher down a little bit. Currently in the bottom of the third, Lions have a 5-0 lead. Here's the pitch. And he swings and hits it foul. The ball was hit a long way. Just needs to straighten that one out. Count moves to 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And he swings and hits a rocket deep to left. Goodbye. See ya. Jaron Morris with a bomb.
Now that's the Jaron Morris that we're used to seeing. That ball was absolutely hammered.
I did say earlier in the at-bat that he was due for a massive bomb, and sure enough, he might have sent that one over the pond.
That it might have. It's definitely in it if it didn't go over. And that makes back-to-back home runs for the Lions.
Once again, the second time this game that the Lions have had back-to-back home runs. Score is now 6-0. And here's another power hitter at the dish in Zach Terry.
Still no outs.
Here's the pitch. And he swings and hits a rocket! Deep center field! Kiss it goodbye! See ya, Zach Terry! 3 in a row for the Lions!
Dead central.
That ball was absolutely cranked.
And that's back to back to back moonshots. Every single one of those bombs were gone anywhere in the nation.
Score now 7-0 Lions on 7 hits. And the Lion dugout is loving it. Now we're going to have a little coaches meeting on the mound. See if he's going to keep him in or maybe take him out.
Just got word that that ball was hit 105 miles an hour off the bat by Zach Terry.
Wow. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that was basically a line shot that went out to the deepest part of this ballpark. Then there's another hitter coming up next, Logan Stradley, who had a bomb last game.
Had the flare into shallow right field, got on an error, and dug it out to two bags. Man, it'd be nice to see the hot streak keep going.
Are we thinking back to back to back to back? Here's the pitch. And that ball is low. Count now 1-0. The pitch. Oh, my. And I think the pitcher might have slipped on the mound. Or maybe his cleat got caught or something. Logan Stradley did offer at that pitch, though, so the count moves to 1-1. Here's the pitch. And that pitch is outside. Count moves to 2-1. There it is, the 2-1 pitch. Oh, it's Stradley looking for his bomb with that swing, but he will miss it. Count moves to an even 2-2. The 2-2 is fouled off to the right side.
That ball was struck well, just well foul.
Count is now 2-2. Here's the pitch. And that ball almost hit him, but did not clip him. Count will move to a full 3-2 now. Still no outs here in the bottom of the third. It feels like this inning's gone on forever. Here we go. Here's the payoff. And he swings and hits it down the line. Foul. Couldn't keep it in the third baseline.
You know, it feels like the inning's gone on forever for us. I wonder what it feels like to be Bruton Parker right now.
I bet they're not having as much fun as the Lions dugout is. The count remains at a 3-2 full count. Still no outs here in the bottom of the third. Lions lead 7-0 on 7 hits. Here's the payoff. And that pitch is high for ball 4. And that'll bring up Evan Robinson. But it looks like we might have a pitching change here. Still no word if it's going to be a pitching change yet. We haven't seen the coach point.
There is a player running out of the bullpen. Looks like it definitely will be a pitching change.
Yes, this will be a pitching change, so we will be right back after this break.
Stepping up to the plate, Evan Robinson, big kitty.
Still no outs here.
In the bottom of the third.
Lions have put up 4 in this inning. Score is currently 7-0. Here's the pitch. Outside and low, and they're trying to back pick, but to no avail. Count now moves to 2-0.
Don't let the spot in the lineup fool you. Robinson has some serious power in that bat.
Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike one. So count now 2-1. No outs. Lions lead 7-0 on 7 hits. Runner at first. The pitch. And looked like a slide step from the pitcher right there. Count moves to 2-2. So now the count's even at 2-2. Still nobody out. The pitch. And a swing and a miss. So there's the first out of this already long inning. And that'll bring us back to the top of Bryan's lineup in Cyrus Campos.
Cyrus with 2 strikeouts this game. Definitely looking to turn it around here.
And he definitely can. He definitely has the power to turn everything around. He'll watch the first one go by for strike one, a really well-executed fastball on the outside part of the plate. And they try to pick off Stradley to no avail. He's back up standing. The pitch is low for ball one. Count now even. Lions in heavy command of this game already, and we're only in the third inning. Next pitch to Campos is high. Count moves to 2-1. Here's the 2-1. And he swings and hits a drive deep right field, and that ball stays fair. See ya, Cyrus Campos with a bomb. A 2-run shot, and Bryan now leads 9-0 in complete command of this game.
And with that one, Bryan ties their home run total from all of last game with 6. It's the third inning.
I mean, the Lion offense is putting up an absolute clinic right now. There's still only 1 out in this inning. And we still got the heart of the lineup coming up as Cade Cook steps in, and he's followed by Caleb Ramsey.
This is the 8th hitter of this inning.
And Cook looks at strike one on the outside corner. And Cook hits one to center. He hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. That's not going to go anywhere. Center fielder makes the catch for the out. So now the dangerous Caleb Ramsey coming up to the plate. Ramsey already has a home run this game. Maybe he could add to another one to this inning and make it 7. And that is ball 1. Counts now 1-0. And that ball is hit on the ground to the second baseman, who can't glove it. So Ramsey will reach first, and we'll see how they score that. It was a sliding attempt, and it looks like they're going to call that a hit. And that'll bring up Will Curcio as the Lions bat around. Curcio, another dangerous hitter. I mean, he could send one over the wall. I mean, heck, this entire lineup could send one over the wall. And most of them have, especially this inning. Score is currently 9-0. 2 outs here, runner at first. Next pitch to Curcio's in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0. Curcio in a good count to do damage right here. The pitch. And there's strike one. Bryan currently leads 9-0 on 8 hits. 6 home runs this inning. And that pitch is called a ball. Count moves to 3-1, a good hitter's count. The 3-1 is low, ball 4. So now runners at first and second with 2 outs. And here's Denaj Williams, who already has a home run this inning.
Yeah, that made Curcio's second walk of the inning.
Here's the pitch to Denaj Williams, and he'll take that one outside for ball 1. So now the count is 1-0. Pitch to Denaj is taken for a strike. Count evens 1-1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Lions put up a 6 spot this inning. Score's currently 9-0. Here's the pitch. And I'll be honest with you, with that swing, I thought he had another, but he will foul that one off to the third base side. Count moves to 1-2. Here's the 1-2 offer. And he fouls it off, stays alive. So we'll do it again. Count still 1-2 with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Caleb Ramsey at second, Curcio at first. The pitch is outside. Count evens at 2-2. And the next pitch is fouled off.
Didi looking like he's all over this pitcher. It's just foul balls left and right, and they're all hard hit. I'd say if this pitcher keeps throwing strikes to him, he'll hit one hard in between the lines.
Here's the pitch. And a swing and the miss. So that's finally the third out. Lions put up a ton of runs. They put up a 6 spot here in the bottom of the third with 6 home runs this inning. I mean, this game is really in their control. We'll be back after this break. All right, so here we are now in the top of the fourth. Ty Johnson back on the mound after a very long break as the Lions put up a 6 spot in the bottom of the third. The first pitch he throws is outside for ball 1.
Hopefully Ty Johnson stayed warm out here. It's definitely starting to get chilly.
Gotta love transitioning from winter to spring. And that pitch is in there. Count evens at 1-1. Next pitch is just a bit off. Count moves to 2-1. Score is currently 9-0 Lions. The pitch. And that's in there. Count evens at 2-2.
Ty Johnson looking to pick up his 4th strikeout of the day.
The pitch is poked into right. And a diving Cade Cook with the catch. That ball was hit directly on a line. Great job and great jump, honestly, by Cade Cook out there in right field to come in and make the diving play. One thing the Lions can't say walking away from this game is that it did not go their way.
Yeah.
So now 1 out. Here's the pitch. And it's grounded to third. Curcio gloves it, throws it across the diamond with a little oomph to it for out number 2. So 2 quick outs for Ty Johnson. And we'll see if he can pick up his 4th scoreless inning of the ball game. Here's the pitch. And that's in there for strike 1. And the next pitch is fouled off. Count moves to 0-2. Ty Johnson in a good spot to throw another scoreless. The pitch is popped up to left field. We'll see if Straley can make the catch, and he can for the out number 3. So even though Ty Johnson had a long time before he got back out there, it clearly didn't affect him as he throws another scoreless inning. We'll be back after this break. Here we are now in the bottom of the fourth, and the dangerous Jaron Morris up at the plate. Jaron already has a bomb, as many others do in this lineup. Maybe looking for another one here. Score is currently 9-0 Lions. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's in there. Count evens at 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And that pitch is outside for ball two. Here's the 2-1. And he smokes it up the middle. Great play by the second baseman. He'll throw on to first to record the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the big Zach Terry. Terry with a bomb last inning. And I mean an absolute moonshot. 105 off the bat.
This guy hits the ball harder than just about anyone I've ever seen in my life.
Here's the pitch. And he swings and hits a drive. Number 2 for Zach Terry. See ya ball. Back-to-back innings, Zach Terry goes yard, that time to left field, and that one actually probably did clear the pond.
Every bit of it.
Like, that thing almost hit Corey Reinhardt's car. An absolute nuke from Big Terry, his second of the game. Score is now 10-0 Lions.
Terry was showing off the wheels the first game in a double, and did he swipe a bag too?
He did swipe a bag.
Now he's showing off the juice.
And now it's Logan Stradley, and he'll take strike one. Stradley got on his first AB from an error from the right fielder and then had a base on balls last inning. Here's the 0-1. And big cut, fouled straight back. Count moves to 0-2. And he hits a rocket to center field. But, oh, man, he hit it too much on a line. Center fielder makes the catch on the warning track. And if he would have just got under that ball a little bit more, that ball might have had a chance to get out. Now that's out number 2. And that'll bring in Big Kitty Evan Robinson.
Man, this outfield is playing deep right now. Every single spot, they're one step from the warning track, 3 steps from the wall. It's going to be tough to hit extra base hits right now.
Yes, it is. And Evan Robinson takes strike one on the outside corner. Here's the pitch. And that pitch just a bit out. Count moves to 1-1. Cyrus Campos, top of the lineup on deck. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth, the pitch. And a big cut right there from Kitty. But he will miss it, so count now moves to 1-2. Here's the 1-2. And he'll look at strike 3, but not before the Lions put up another one as Big Scary Terry sends one over the pond. We'll be right back after this break. Here we go in the top of the fifth. Ty Johnson once again back on the mound for good reason, as he's only allowed 2 hits and hasn't allowed a single run this game. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled straight back for strike one.
We're not sure about a run rule, but if it is in play, then if the Lions get out of this one without giving up anything, this game could be over.
And that pitch is right back at Ty Johnson. Thankfully, it looked like he tried to glove it and it hit his glove, so he's fine. He's fine. It was just a hard line drive right back at him. Might have scared him a little bit. So now the runner will be on first.
That was almost another amazing play by Ty Johnson. I mean, this dude, he's gotten everything hit right back at him.
So now runner on first with nobody out. And here's the pitch. And he hits the ball sharply to Didi, who flips it to Cyrus on to first, and there's the 2-ball.
That was one of the quickest double plays I think I've ever seen.
A great pick by Denaj Williams at second base. A good feed to Campos, and a great throw from Campos to the first baseman, Jaron Morris. And now there are quickly 2 outs here in the fifth. Ty Johnson's next pitch is in there for strike one. Here's the pitch. And another one in there. Count moves to 0-2. Ty Johnson looking very sharp out there. Definitely has some confidence behind him and confidence in his fielders, which is huge. Here's the 0-2. And that one a little high and tight. Count will move to 1-2. The 1-2 delivery. And he wanted it, but did not offer. Count moves to an even 2-2. Next pitch from Ty Johnson is fouled. So we'll run it back again. 2-2 the count. 2 outs, nobody on base.
Ty looking to pick up his 4th strikeout of the day.
The pitch is grounded to the third baseman, Curcio, who gloves it, throws it across. And just like that, another shutdown inning for Ty Johnson. Absolutely amazing performance right now from the Bryan Lions, and we will be right back after this break. All right, here we go in the bottom of the fifth. And we will start at the top of the lineup with Cyrus Campos, who hit a home run his last AB. Here's the pitch. And a big cut and a miss right there. Count now 0-1.
We got word that if the run rule isn't affected, it'd be 10 after 7. So still a lot of baseball left to be played.
And Campos foul tips that one. Count moves to 0-2. Lions have a commanding lead 10-0. Here's the 0-2. And a foul ball, so Cyrus Campos will have another shot. Here's the 0-2. And that ball is in the dirt. So count moves to 1-2. Here's the 1-2 to Campos. And that is called strike 3 on the inner half. So now 1 out for Cade Cook. One out here, nobody on base. Here's the pitch to Cook. And that pitch is outside for ball 1. Count currently 1-0. The pitch. And that one is outside as well. Count moves to 2-0. Cook, one of the only Lions in this lineup to not have a home run in this game. And he takes a big hack right there. Count moves to 2-1. The 2-1 is inside and low, ball 3. So now Cook is in a really good hitter's count to do some damage. Maybe extend this lead that's already big. The pitch is swung on and missed, so count will now be full.
Cook doing a really good job of battling back here.
Here's the 3-2, and it's fouled off. So we'll do it again. Count still 3-2 here with 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th. The pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. And that'll bring up the very dangerous Caleb Ramsey. Ramsey had a home run his first AB. Here's the pitch. And that's taken outside for ball 1. The pitch is swung on and fouled into the mitt, so count will move to now 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on. Bryan currently commanding this game with a 10-run lead. The pitch is cut on foul over the third base dugout. Count is 1-2 here with 2 outs. Ramsey is a very good two-strike hitter. And he takes the ball low. Count now moves to an even 2-2. The pitch is cut on and fouled straight back at us. Count will remain 2-2 here. The pitch is outside and low, so now the count will go to full. Here's the payoff. And he swings and fouls another one straight back.
Does that make 6 pitches this at bat?
I believe so, yes. Ramsey having a very good AB right here. Here's the payoff. And that ball is outside. So good job right there from Caleb Ramsey. Drove up the pitch count a little bit and reached first on a walk. And that'll bring up the very dangerous Will Curcio.
Will with a homer and 2 walks this game. Super clutch home run last game.
And he swings and it hits a fly ball to right field. And the right fielder drops it. It gets by him. And Ramsey puts on the brakes at third. Curcio goes into second.
That should make the 4th error of the day for Bruton Parker.
That is the second error made by the right fielder on an easily catchable fly ball, too. And now Denaj Williams will step up to the plate. Williams has a home run in this game as well.
2 long home runs on the day.
Now 2 outs, runners at second and third. And here's the pitch. It's low for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. And he swings and hits one foul just above the third base dugout. Count now moves to an even 1-1 here. Lions with a good opportunity to stretch this lead further than it already is. The pitch. And he fouls another one straight back. Count is 1-2 here with 2 outs. The pitch is fouled off above the third base dugout again.
There's a lot of pitches thrown between these last 3 at bats.
Good job by the Bryan hitters, staying alive in counts, working counts very well. Here's the 1-2, and that pitch is outside. Count now moves to an even 2-2. The pitch is once again fouled straight back. Denaj not wanting to strike out here.
I mean, between these last 3 at bats, this has to be about 20 pitches, man.
It's got to be between the foul balls and the balls thrown by the pitcher. Here we go again. And that ball is outside. So count moves to another full 3-2 here with 2 outs, runners at second and third.
Three, two outs. Payoff pitch. It's fouled back again.
So once again, I mean, both sides not wanting to give in.
You know, you'd think one of these hitters would have barreled one of these balls up, seeing this many strikes.
Here's the payoff. Swinging another foul ball.
That one caught a car.
We now see the wild POs after foul balls as well. Once again, here's the 3-2. And that pitch is inside for ball 4. Wow, these past 3 hitters, I'm speechless. I've never seen so many pitches thrown to 3 batters. And now that brings up Jaron Morris. First pitch to Jaron is fouled back. Count now 0-1. 2 outs here. Bases loaded. The pitch is swung on and missed.
So Morris quickly behind 0-2 here. See if he can keep up the foul ball streak.
Here's the 0-2. And that one's in there for strike 3. So no runs, but a lot of pitches thrown that inning. And we'll be right back after this break. So here we go now in the top of the 6th. Ty Johnson out for another inning of work. And his first pitch is just off the mark outside for ball 1. The 1-0 is hit back up the middle, but gloved by Campos, who throws it to first for out number 1. Ty Johnson looking very, very sharp on the mound. Hasn't given up a run and has only given up 3 hits. Here's the pitch. And that's in there for strike one.
Even with these long breaks in between innings, Ty Johnson comes out looking seamless.
That one a little upstairs. Count will move to even 1-1. Here's the pitch. Ooh, man, that looked really good from up here, and I think that was called a strike earlier, but umpire will signal ball. Count moves to 2-1. And that one's in there. Looked similar to the last pitch, but that one must have clipped the zone. Count now moves to 2-2. The pitch is lined back up the middle for a base hit. So now a runner at first with one out. And Ty wants a ball change. It is getting later in the day, so the dew on the grass is going to make the balls a little slick.
Johnson looking for another 2-ball here.
Here's the pitch. And kind of a weird take. It looked like he almost jumped in the box, but he did not offer, so the count will move to a 1-0. Next pitch is grounded to shortstop, and they get the force at second and not in time, and the throw pulled off the first baseman, Jaron Morris, just enough. There will be 2 outs, though, runner at first. So 2 outs here, runner at first here in the top of the 6th. Bryan leading 10-0. And first pitch is in there for strike one. Here's the 0-1. And that ball is popped up to center field. Ramsey camps under it, and he will squeeze it for out number 3. So once again, Ty Johnson just going out to the mound and absolutely dominating this lineup. We'll be right back after this break. All right, here we go in the bottom of the 6th. And you'll never believe who's up. It's Big Zach Scary Terry.
Homered in his last 2 at-bats.
Got to wonder if the pitcher is kind of shaking right now watching him get in the box. I mean, he has just been dominating these past couple games. That first pitch is off the mark for ball one. So here's the 1-0. And a high fly ball over towards the first base side. And that one's going to leak out. So now the count will move to an even 1-1. Terry looking to do some damage. Terry now with a 1-1 count. The pitch. And he laid. Ooh. It looked like he laid off from up here, but first base umpire signals that he did go. So the count will now move to 1-2. Here's the pitch. And that one's way off the mark outside. Count moves to an even 2-2. Here's the 2-2 offer. And that one's off the mark, so now the count will be full. Do we see another foul ball parade come from Big Terry?
I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't. When you throw him that many strikes, he's not going to miss any. As I say that,
he just whiffed. So there's strike three. And now up at the dish is Logan Stradley. Stradley not having a bad game. He reached first time on an error, a base on balls, and then he had a line out his last AB.
Yeah, lined out to the center field warning track. This outfield is still playing extremely deep.
And he fouls that one directly back at us. Almost hit our camera, but we're fine. So count now is 0-1 here with one out. Bryan's leading 10-0. Here's the pitch. And that's called a strike on the outer half. Count moves to 0-2. So now here's the 0-2 to Stradley. And he swings and misses for strike three.
Caleb Sturman pitch hitting for Evan Robinson.
Two outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Pitcher steps off. And that pitch is in there for strike one. So here's the 0-1. And a big cut and a miss. Count moves to 0-2. And that pitch is fouled off to the third base side. Count 0-2. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss, but the ball gets away. Can he leg it out? And no, he can't. That ball almost hit him. But it's in time to first for the third out. So now we will move to the 7th. If the Lions hold them here with no runs, it'll be run rule, and we'll see if Ty Johnson goes back out there for another inning.
He will.
And it looks like he will. So will Ty Johnson get the complete game? We'll find out after this break. All right, so here we go for the top of the 7th inning. A reminder that if the Lions hold them right here to no runs, that it will be mercy rule, as the Lions are currently leading 10-0.
If Ty Johnson finishes it here, it'll be a complete game shutout.
And he'll hit the first batter. Looked like it hit him in the hip area. So now the leadoff man is aboard with nobody out. We have seen Ty Johnson get a lot of ground balls to the middle infield this game, so this could be a good opportunity to turn two.
I'm sure Bruton Parker is going to be fighting hard to scratch a run here because, like we said, game will be over if they don't. So we might see some action on the base paths and things like that.
Here's the pitch. And he swings and hits a high fly ball. And did that ball get...
The umpires signal home
and they're
run.
signaling home run. We're not sure if it went out. It looked like it may have hit the top of the fence or maybe hit the net and came back in. But they're going to roll it a home run, so now the score is 10-2. That ball was hit to left center. Caleb Ramsey definitely didn't think it was a home run. He got it in quick. There's no way to take a look at it, so it'll just be a 2-run bomb. And that ball is hit deep to right field. And that one's going to leave the yard too. So now the score is 10-3.
Now, I haven't noticed any action in the Lions bullpen, but there is some down there in the bullpen now.
And it looks like they will make a call to the bullpen. So Ty Johnson's night will end, but boy, what a impressive performance right here, putting up 6 scoreless. During this pitching change, we will take a quick intermission. All right, here we go. Logan Sullivan on the bump now for the Lions, and we just got a little update between innings that Ty Johnson, the starting pitcher for the Lions, pitched all this time with a sprained wrist. So a very impressive performance from him, as that first pitch missed just a little bit for ball one. Here's the 1-0. And that pitch is in there for strike one. Count evens up 1-1. The 1-1 is fouled right back at us, and the count will move to 1-2. The 1-2 is cut on and missed for strike three. So Logan Sullivan comes out of the pen and immediately records a strikeout. One out here. The pitch is chopped to the third base side. Is it going to spin fair? No, it is not. Foul ball. Currently in the top of the seventh, Bryan leads 10-3. Here's the pitch. And that ball is high. Here's the 1-0. And that's in there for strike one, so now we're even. And that ball is, oh my. That ball was hit to, was that Will Curcio?
I believe that was hit to Will.
That was hit to Will, and Will overthrew the first baseman, Jaron Morris. So there's the first error of the game for the Lions. And now there's a runner aboard at first with one out.
Now the 2 ball is in effect.
The pitch is outside for ball one. Here's the 1-0. And it's hit up the middle to Campos, who flips it to Williams, and Williams fires to first for the double play. Run rule still can be in effect if the Lions score 3 right here. We'll see if they do it after this break. All right, so here we go in the bottom of the seventh, And the lineup's going to flip over, and it will start at the top with Cyrus Campos. Cyrus has a lot of power behind the bat, and he'll take that one outside for ball one.
Cyrus, outside of his home run, he's had a slow day today. Slow game, I should say. He's had quite a day overall.
Next pitch is inside and low for ball two. Here's the next pitch. And he swings and hits a high fly ball deep to right field. And that ball is gone. See ya. Bryan now leads 11-3 and is 2 away from the mercy rule. And now steps up the dangerous Cade Cook, who hasn't had a bad day at the plate. Had a home run last game. See if he can do it again right here. First pitch is outside for ball one. Here's the 1-0. And he swings and hits a rocket down the line, and it will just leak foul. He almost kept it tucked in the third base line, but couldn't quite get it, so now count will move to 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And he swings and hits that one down the third baseline foul. So count now moves to 1-2. Dangerous hitter in Caleb Ramsey behind Cook.
A lot of these pitchers are coming right in Cook's wheelhouse.
And that ball is outside, so now the count evens up at 2-2.
I'd be surprised if this pitcher keeps coming to that spot if Cookie doesn't hammer one soon.
Here's the pitch. And a big swing and a miss, so there's out number one. And now steps up Caleb Ramsey. Pitcher wanting a new ball, as when they were throwing it around in the infield, it got away from one of them. So one out here in the bottom of the seventh, and here's the pitch. And off speed leaks in there for strike one. Here's the pitch. And that ball is upstairs. Count evens out at 1-1. The pitch. And that one's outside. Count now moves to a hitter's count of 2-1. Here's the pitch. And a big cut and a miss. Count now moves to an even 2-2. Here's the 2-2 offer. And that one's upstairs. Count is now full 3-2. Here's the payoff. And that one gets away a little bit. Good block by the catcher right there. But that will be a walk. So Ramsey on with a base on balls.
With that walk, Will Curcio flaming hot, stepping up to the dish.
He also has a chance to end it right here. One out, runner at first. Here's the pitch. And that was a breaking ball in there for strike one.
That one stayed high. That's the type of breaker that you want to hit.
Here's the 0-1. And that one almost runs in and gets him. But the count will move to 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And Curcio hits to third base, and a great pick right there from the third baseman, but he can't make the throw. He tried to make the throw to second, and Ramsey's going to try to push it, and he will be there safely. And Curcio will go to second, so the ball was hit sharply to the third baseman. He picked the ball well. He tried to throw it to second. The throw got away from him, leaked into center field, and then Ramsey was able to score from there. Curcio moved up to second from that.
And now the winning run is on second base.
And another big bat coming up, Denaj Williams. Still only one out here. We also have a new runner at second base. I can't really tell who it is.
Looks like that might be Jackson Ballou, possibly.
Possibly. The pitch. And Denaj takes strike one. Base knock right here has the potential to send us all home. Here's the pitch. And that is outside. Count moves to 1-1. Lions currently lead 12-3. And it appeared that the second baseman wanted the pitcher to pick, but I guess he must have missed the sign because he threw the pitch anyway, and that pitch was in the dirt for ball two. Now Williams in a really good hitter's count. The pitch. And a big cut and a miss. Count now evens at 2-2. Here's the 2-2. And Denaj fouls it back. Count still 2-2 here. One out, runner at second. The pitch. And he hits a fly ball over the third base dugout, foul, and we'll run it back 2-2. Here's the pitch. And Didi's hits a rocket really, really far. Way too foul, though. That ball was absolutely crushed. So count remains 2-2.
Earlier you said a base hit could do it. Looks like he's trying to
He's trying to extend it a little bit. And that pitch is in the dirt, so count will now be full. So now the count's 3-2. Here's the payoff. And that is outside for ball 4. And this will bring up Jaron Morris. He already has a homer this game. But once again, a single is all they really need. Still only one out. Score is 12-3 Lions. Here's the pitch. And he swings and hits a drive. Deep left field. Walk-off bomb. Jaron Morris. Or not a walk-off? Are we not doing run rule? That should be, if we're doing run rule, that should be a walk-off bomb. Okay, now the players are starting to walk off the field, so that is a ball. That is the ball game. I will do my signature. See ya! And that is the end of the game. 2 very good games for the Bryan Lions. They win this one 15-3. Jaron with his second bomb of the game. Bryan Lions have another doubleheader tomorrow against the same 2 teams. And that's where we will see y'all. Good night.